Good light, good life. Let's see if we're getting sound here, my friends. Oh. Yeah. I look like one of the blue people. Let's see what we got here. Try to keep my text open. My chat window. It's hard to chat with this software that I am using. My videos. See what we got here. See what we got here. Fan on this laptop is loud, but we'll have to make do here. So, I'm just the messenger here, my friend. Please don't shoot the messenger. I'm getting a lot of comments talking about what do I know about Ascension and the event. Who am I to speak? I'm just a messenger. I'm nobody. Please don't be offended by the message that I bring from the higher realms. Yes, some people call the event the rapture. They say it may be the rapture. I don't know. Yes, it could be the rapture. Who am I to say? Only God knows. I'm just the servant of the Great Spirit, of the Holy Spirit. So what I transmit is from the highest good, and I do the best I can, my friend. So thank you for the support I'm getting from all you light workers out there and all my friends in internet land. So all souls, this is a message from Megan Rachel, some information she channeled about that the highest trajectory of this new timeline for the new earth is that all souls will ascend through this shift. And this is the highest trajectory in the greatest timeline. So we have all heard so many messages on the Ascension. A lot of fear and programming to this day still gets through in messages from the divine and the other side. One thing I've learned is to fully trust and let my heart guide me when it comes to these messages. Take what feels in resonance and vibration with your heart and leave the rest. So much of this language is based on perception. So everyone's going to perceive this information that's coming through these higher dimensions, these higher realms, these channelings. Our perception is going to dictate, and our internal map of reality of how we interpret these messages, how we perceive what is happening, how we perceive what will happen in the future, and our outlook on this world that we live in the future of this realm, and the shift that we're going through. So a real quick reminder for those who don't know what the Ascension is. The Ascension is known by many names. Some may know it as the dawning of the golden age of Earth, 1,000 years of peace, the falling of Babylon, Armageddon, the rapture, the coming of Christ, and some are calling it the event. The Ascension is moving our awareness consciousness from this 3D world into the 5th dimension, crystalline, Christ consciousness world that is already all around us. We are going back to the Garden of Eden. We are transferring our consciousness from one state to a more enlightened state. Hold on one moment here. Let me get something going here. I think I'm having a little glitch. This fan on this laptop is really cooking. I have to come up with a better setup here. Hey Jamie, how you doing? I think everything's coming through loud and clear. So we are transferring our consciousness from one state to a more evolved level of being and conscious awareness. We will mold our reality. It won't be overnight. We will not undergo physical body death for this to happen, although for some this is the route they may choose. So if it is in your destiny, you will go through that death process, but most light workers have already gone through that process and have returned. We've gone through many deaths, but Ascension ultimately is transcending to 5D or to heaven while still alive. Now, many people are going to interpret that in different ways. What does it mean to be alive, and what does it mean to enter heaven or the fifth dimension? So does that mean you're fully conscious? Like Paramahansa Yogananda would say, all humans are seeking the same thing, which he called eternal bliss consciousness. For one, we always want to be in bliss. We don't want to be in bliss today and then in pain tomorrow. So that's the eternal. The bliss is the joy, the peace, the love. So we always want to be in that state of bliss and consciousness, conscious. We want to be awake. We want to be conscious of this peace, the joy, the love, the bliss for all eternity. So that is what we all are all seeking, and that's what many of the mystics, sorry about that, a little phone ringing in the background here. So the eternal bliss consciousness is what the guru will call God, the still white magnetic light at the center of all things. There we go. Our bodies will undergo and have been undergoing a cellular reprogramming from our corrupted and altered 2-strand DNA template to the fully functioning original human genome template of the 12-14-strand DNA. Our bodies will lose density and become more adaptable, flexible, suitable. Our bodies will begin emitting light as the physical body transforms. Now many people are already experiencing this state of emitting light from the pores of their skin. You'll see a slight glowing, sometimes maybe in the dark. Some people see it as light actually emitting from the pores, or just a glow, like an aura type thing. As our awareness expands, so does our perception, and we will begin to see, feel, and experience it more than was ever possible in the third dimension. I want to tell you a quick little story here. My nephew James, who is one of my best friends in this realm, passed away a couple years ago, and I visited him on the other side in an altered state, in meditation, in a dream state, astral projection, and we were sitting on my porch, and he used to go by Bizzle. His last name was Butler, James Bizzle. Hey, good to see you, my skies 5D. Portland, beautiful place. I trained with a Taoist master in Portland, Max Christensen. Portland Kunlun, Ching Feng Dao Shi. I really enjoyed my visit there and training in the bamboo forest in Portland. It was an amazing experience. So I visited my nephew, who's already in 5D on the other side, and we were sitting on my porch, and this might have been a year ago, 8 months, I don't know time anymore. Yes, beautiful spring days. We're still cold here in Cleveland, but the sun's shining and spring is in the air. So I visited my nephew and on the other side, and I put my arm around him, and we were joking and laughing, and there were these beautiful, most amazing clouds in the sky, like a rainbow. A lot of people are saying that this event you'll experience these rainbow colors. Well, I've seen it, and it's beyond beautiful. And I said to my nephew that, wow, like, this is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. And then he just looked at me and grinned, and he said, "You ain't seen nothing yet." So my friends, you can't even imagine what's coming, and what these heavenly realms are like, unless if you've had a near-death experience or remember the other side. Some people do remember, some people are having these experiences already, but all of you will experience these higher realms, these 5D and beyond. So as always, expect the unexpected. What has been in the works of unfolding is far beyond our current level and capability of comprehension. There is so much that the other side cannot even begin to explain on a human level. Through feelings is the closest I've come to knowing what the Ascension is pure bliss. Peace beyond imagination, endless waves of cascading love, joy, peace, and ecstasy, continuously cascading one after the other. This is the feeling. Now this is a feeling many people are explaining. Wow. Hey Jamie. Virginia, how you doing? Hey Super Maxu. A lot of people joining tonight. Thank you all. A lot of love and energy. Thank you for your positive energies and your love and bliss. One thing I wanted to say is that you are the event. Your physical spacesuit, it's what Barry Long would call our spacesuit, this light that is emitting from the center of your being, that infinite light. My teacher, his Taoist name, my Sifu, Ching Feng Dao Shi, which means pure wind, man of the Tao, talks about rainbow body. We call it gold dragon body, is like a supernova, the singularity that's at the center of your being, like a star will collapse and expand out to the ends of the universe, like 1,000 lights. So you could check out, I teach his art called Kunlun. It's a Neigong practice. I'm not allowed to teach it on the internet, but I do private lessons, and I do a class once a month here in Cleveland. So if you're in Cleveland, Ohio, leave your email in the comments below. I'll invite you to one of my classes. But you can check out my teacher's website, primordialalchemist.com. I'll put that up in here. Let's see if I can spell. I have to jump on my other computer because I can't chat while I'm doing these live. So Sifu Max, he's a Taoist master and a Mongolian shaman. He does classes out west. He's by Sedona now. I train with him in Portland, Mount Shasta in California, and out in Sedona, Arizona. He lives out by Sedona now. Let's see what we got here. Yeah. Kunlun. In the Taoist arts, the Chinese, they name their arts after the mountains in China. Like Maoshan, I've trained at Maoshan, which Maoshan Mountain. The Maoshan were some of the most feared warriors in China. There is a saying, 1,000 spears cannot stop one Maoshan. But I teach Kunlun, which is one of the most sacred mountains in China. They say when Lao Tzu, who is the Taoist immortal, when he left this realm, he went to Kunlun Mountain. So Kunlun is also a name that symbolizes heaven. They're sacred realms. I'll put that in the chat. You can look that up. So I'll continue here from Megan Rachel. She keeps getting recurring messages from my internal guidance system. It feels and total resonation with my heart. The message I received today at 4:41 p.m. 144,000 is that all souls will ascend. All souls have the capability to ascend as of this moment. Our awareness and perception creates our reality. In the reality I'm feeling resonation with, all souls ascend. Fear is what would keep souls trapped in a lower vibratory 3D world. My heart is saying this will not happen and is not in the highest interest of humanity. Through my awareness of thinking, all souls will ascend. I create it. I'm not dooming any of my brothers and sisters to this fate by thinking I know what creation has in store for us. I will leave the door open for them to join the higher realms and dimensions at all times, if and when they so choose. We are collapsing the third dimension. Nothing will be left here, bringing it to 0 point. Our job isn't over here until the last soul has left time. Once we step out of time currently happening, those of us who are rainbow bridges from the 3D to the 5D will be able to move through different times and dimensions with ease, and it's already happening. From this point on, this journey will not be as linear as it has been so far. Now is when time stops and we begin the merging of the different aspects of time and us. So if you look up Guru Rinpoche, there's been many instances of what's called rainbow body. Rainbow body, they call it that because when the high lamas, Sifu Max is also a high lama, is a Tibetan Buddhist master. And I've trained with several Zen masters and Tibetan masters and sat in council with the Dalai Lama in the past. But I currently practice a Taoist art and training in Shaolin, a Shaolin practice. But I teach Neigong. Neigong is for the heart. It's a water path. Excuse me. Yeah, the Matrix background, my sky. You know, all light workers are experiencing this background noise. Some people are calling them trolls, or these dark entities are trying to... The light attracts the dark sometimes, so one practice, it's a Buddhist practice. You just tell yourself it's none of my business. I have a video that from the book The Art of Disappearing, where I read the first chapter, where I get into how anything external or anything that is not real is none of our business. It's a practice when the thought arises, because these entities are trying to get a hold of your thought system and your belief system and your perception. So anything negative begins with a thought. So as that thought arises, just say to yourself, none of my business. And you can also visualize your physical being surrounded by the white light of the Great Spirit, of the Holy Spirit. Some people say, Yeshua Christos, protect me, or call on the angelic realm. You're always surrounded by your angels and your guides. Yes. Oh yeah, they're definitely easy to spot. But these are things we're letting go of, the darkness, the negativity. One guru once said, even our thoughts are not our own. If you think that you think your thoughts, without thinking, tell me what your next thought is going to be. So you can't do that. You can't say what your next thought is going to be without thinking. So where does that thought originate? So we can work with thoughts and we can let thoughts go, but the thoughts that manifest each moment from that stillness, from that emptiness, are emanating out from that still center. So our thoughts change, our feelings change, so they're not real. The only thing that is our business is that which is real, and that which is real never changes. Excellent. Yes. You can call on the angels 24/7. They're always with you. The angelic realm, the higher dimensional beings. Yeah, a lot of people are hearing a hum or a ringing in the ears. Some people call it tinnitus, but I have a student that has been hearing a lot of ringing. I hear it, we call it in the Taoist arts the call of the dragon or the call of the tiger, depending on which ear you hear it in. But it's from the crystal palace of the center of the brain. And also you can hear a hum or a ringing or high-pitched sound. Could be your higher self or these angelic beings communicating with you. You could try it with your voice to match that pitch. There's several things that you could do to help with if it's bothering you, if it's getting on your nerves. There's a technique, let's see if I can where your fingers, your index finger over the middle. I don't know if you could see this, but you put your palms over your ears, and they call it beating the jade pillow. You just kind of thump the base of your skull. You totally block your ears with your palms. The jade pillow is the base of the skull, where the base meets your neck, meets your vertebrae here. They call it jade pillow in Chinese arts, Chinese medicine, and you beat it like a drum. You do it about 30 to 50 times, and then listen, see if you still hear it. There's a couple other techniques, where you tuck your chin in and pull your ears out, because sometimes it's fluid in between in your sinuses. Forget what they're called. Yes, we're all transitioning to live from the heart, live the path from the heart. It's what Don Juan Matu would teach Carlos Castaneda. All warriors live a path with heart, meaning living from the heart. So my teacher, Ching Feng Dao Shi, he was initiated also years ago into the Red Willow Society of the Navajo, and they call God the Great Mystery because it's the greatest thing that you could even imagine, beyond imagination. See, the Great Spirit is beyond all concepts, beyond all time and space, beyond words, so that's why it is a great mystery. And my teacher taught us that we are not even real human beings yet. We are learning to be real human beings, which means living from the heart, which means being connected to all beings, all things. You feel that connection in the deepest part of your heart center. Yeah, we'll check out if are you filming some of the skies there? My Skies 5D. Yeah, a lot of people are seeing some amazing imagery in the skies. I know today I saw too, and I think it was Russia where it snowed orange. It was like an orange snow, and some scientists were saying, well, it potentially could be sands from the Sahara blowing up into the atmosphere and then raining down with the snow. But other scientists were saying there's huge levels of iron that they're testing in the snow and that. It's pretty wild stuff, though. Pretty weird and wild stuff. So we're moving out of linear time into more spatial. See, as humans, we think of time as past, present, future, flowing like a stream, and we're standing in that stream. But in the higher dimensions, or what some people call the other shore, the other side, it's more spatial, where everything's in the now. You know, everything's, even in this realm, everything's now. You can't experience something in the past other than imagining, or the future you can imagine, but you can only live in the present. The mind likes to sometimes dwell on the past and worry about the future, but all things are experienced in the now, the eternal now. So pure jubilation and laughter, because we still have so much to clean up to do around the world and within. So that's another thing, this cleaning up our internal map of reality. Like Krishnamurti would say, we are the world, and the world is on fire, and we are the world, so we are on fire. So many people are experiencing this burning up. So from the fire come the ashes, and from the ashes the phoenix rises up from the ashes. So as these things all burn up, as the past burns up, as the fear burns up, the ashes that remain, we will all rise up from those ashes as a great fiery phoenix. The divine feminine in the Taoist arts, you have the phoenix and the dragon. The phoenix is generally the feminine, and the dragon is the masculine, the yin and the yang. The yin, the feminine, the phoenix. We have a practice called the red phoenix, and then the dragon is the masculine, the yang, the fire. So you have the water and the fire. So you hear the holy water and the holy fire, and these two are different frequencies, different patterns that interact with each other. The electron and the proton, the rise and the fall, the emptiness and the form. This is part of the duality universe. You can't have black without white, and white without black. If everything was white, it would be nothing. If everything was black, it would be nothing. If everything was form, you wouldn't experience emptiness. If everything was emptiness, there would be no form. So to experience this reality, what we call reality, this realm, this matrix. See, matrix, people think is a negative thing, which there is a... I heard someone the other day, it's... The matrix isn't the negative, it's the patrix, the patrika. See, matrix is an ancient word from la matrica. Matrica, mama. Ma is water, mother, mama, mother, and tricks, T-R-I-X. Silly rabbit, tricks are for kids. That's not by chance. They didn't call that stupid cereal Tricks just for the fun of it. and isn't it funny they use the symbolism of the white rabbit? And why would Tricks be for kids, for children? Remember that old commercial? Or is that a Mandela effect? A lot of Mandela effects coming down. But Tricks, T-R-I-X, matrix, trika, it means divinity, divine, sacred, holy. So divine water. See, there's a physical water and there's a non-physical water. Without water, there is no life. Not even bacteria can exist if there's totally 0% humidity. There's a desert in South America, in the Altiplano, I believe, that doesn't even, has zero humidity, zero water, and that not even a bacteria lives there. So without water, there is no life. And without fire, there's no life either. You need both, because we exist in that Goldilocks zone, I mean physical matter, between, you know, where water becomes liquid, you know, at 33 degrees, you know, you see that 33, the Freemasons use it. Jesus died at 33, Yeshua, 33 vertebrae in the spine, 33 degrees on the Earth's, I believe, latitude, or the longitude is, I believe, where was that? New Mexico, not Area 51, but maybe that's Area 51. But it's on that parallel, wherever that UFO supposedly crashed. Any perspective on the extreme Earth changes? Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, whatever is going on internally is going to manifest externally. People are experiencing great internal changes. So this realm that we live in is it Barry Long would say, everything expands out from the spacesuit and then returns back. It's like a feedback loop. So whatever's going on collectively internally, you know, you have your singular perception, then you have a collective perception. So what is going on internally is going to manifest externally on a singular level. Say you're unhappy or sad or this or that, you're going to see that unhappiness and sadness in the world. There is an old story about a woman or a human went to a master and that lived in some different part of the world from where she was living, or he, I can't remember, we'll say he was living, and they went to this master and they said, you know, how are people, how are they where you live? Are they friendly? Are they mean? And the master said, well, how are the people where you live? Well, people, I live in the city, they're real nasty and people don't get along and people are unhappy and angry. And he goes, well, that's how they're gonna be where I live for you. So it's kind of the story, like what we experience externally in people. It's almost like if you try to look for the good in others, try to look for that happiness and expand that happiness out from yourself, that joy that you feel inside, instead of focusing on the negative things that happen. That doesn't mean you're never going to experience anything negative. And Barry Long says, you know, people say, oh, it's karma, this person did something bad or this bad thing. No, Barry Long called it the Mars effect. Just bad things sometimes happen. These things we label as bad, because sometimes you think something's bad, but then good comes out of it. So it's all perception. So these earth changes are ramping up because as our internal channels are lighting up and firing up, it's going to affect, especially globally. I mean, there's a lot of craziness going on in this world, but it's there's a Chinese philosopher that talked about how there will never be peace in this world until there's peace in every heart. So part of this shift, everything's shaking up. Our belief systems are shaking up. People's internal map of reality is shaking up. The earth is shaking up. Gaia is shifting to these higher realms. Potentially, she has already shifted to 5D, but she has to keep part of her multi-dimensional being in this 3D realm, so it's quite a task. Living in 5D and maintaining a resonance in the lower frequencies, in the 3D dimensionals. I believe, based on what I'm learning, you know, this is, we're all putting the pieces of the puzzle together. No one has the full story. It's kind of like I take something from all spiritual practices, all religions. I've trained with many Zen masters and Taoist masters and shamans and healers and sages and Christian mystics, and I put my own philosophy together from all these things. So when upon the Ascension, according to what I have been taught, what I have experienced, you can maintain your own individuality. See, that's the shift that's going to happen. Instead of returning to this one ocean, you're going to return but maintain your individual consciousness. So if you want to manifest as this body here, you'll be able to. If you want to experience your family as they were in this life, you'll be able to. So yeah, I do believe that there will be different, not per se different levels, but there will be, you will experience this concept of separation, but you won't know that you are all connected, that we are all connected. So it's kind of like, instead of feeling separate or feeling alone, you will feel one with all while maintaining your individual consciousness and your individual story, and be able to manifest whatever it is that you want to manifest into the higher realms. Yeah, definitely the Corey, the earth changes are letting go of the old. You know, sometimes when the body is out of balance, in Chinese medicine we talk about you know, the meridians and the channels. You know, you have these what they call acupuncture channels. It's basically follows the nervous system. That there's a block of energy. See, the chi is the life force, or the energy that flows through the circuitry of the body. If there's a block in any channel, in any organ, then it will manifest as an illness. So sometimes when your body's out of balance, just like this earth out of balance, you go through some changes that seem like negative, like as you're shaking off the old. Like say you're sick and you have a fever, it seems like a bad thing. I get real cold and then I shiver. Your body's shaking off the virus, the bacteria, whatever it is, and your body temperature drops. You feel real cold because your body is going into action. It's shaking that, releasing whatever it is that it needs to release, that energy, that frequency, that vibration, because everything is a frequency and a vibration. Exactly. No one ever wants to go back to that low level of thinking. That's part of the shift. That's what the Ascension is. It says, no, we have learned the lesson. This experiment is over. It was fun while it lasted. But yes, we never want to fall back into that darkness. Barry Long would say, the greatest question you can ask is, have I suffered enough? Now, I'm sure everyone watching tonight won't even have to think a second to answer that one, because believe me, ask people, have you suffered enough? And many people have to stop and think about that one for a minute. But light workers don't. It's like, oh yeah, we suffered enough, and we don't want to go back to that fall from grace, you know, that back to the illusion of separation. It's like we've learned the lessons of separation and duality and suffering and pain, and now we are in the time of transitioning and shifting back to our higher self, back to the connection to all things, back to source, our source connection. Yes. Yeah, definitely where these extreme events are happening are definitely places that need more healing. That's just a signpost, you know, but all these things are connected, so we're all being affected. But yes, where you see the cleansings happening, Those are the places that would be like an acupuncture point. I've trained in acupuncture, and I've had it done many times, and there's sometimes where you hit a point and it's excruciating pain. Like most of them, it's like boom, 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 boom. I've had 50 needles in me, you know. it's like a lot of them you don't even feel, but that you get that one point and that boom opens something up and your whole body starts shaking. It's like, yeah, that's like that point on the earth where it's like boom. See, because the healing is happening from the higher realms, from the angelic realm. So the higher, the great mystery, the source knows the places that need to be balanced, the places that are totally out of balance, and all these things are coming into resonance with each other, and the frequency of the earth, the Schumann resonance, is raising. So that's affecting all life on this planet, even the animals and the children. The Schumann resonance is also, generally, it was around 7.3, 7.8 hertz. That's what the hippocampus in the brain resonates at, that level, which the hippocampus is the doorway to memories. So that could be part of this Mandela effect too, as the Schumann resonance has been shooting way up. You know, check out Greg Braden's work. He talks a lot about the Schumann resonance and how it's been the same since it's been measured for, I don't know, 100 years, 50 to 100 years, and since like 1985 it started rising, and then since 2012 it's just been shooting through the roof, but it fluctuates now. So our feelings, this up and down, this kind of roller coaster, and these crazy energies of this realm, that's part of this to help shift to these higher realms. So it's called, in the law of thermodynamics, it's called entropy. And Tom Kenyon, check out his work. Does some amazing chants in that. Tom Kenyon, if you haven't checked his stuff out, he'll put you in an altered state just listening to his chanting. Yeah, it is pretty rough, Starlight. Yeah, I hate seeing animals suffer, or any living being suffer for that matter. Mainstream media is bull crap. I can't even watch it. I haven't been able to watch mainstream or I don't know, the media or whatever, for 20 years now. Second sun is a flyliner. It's going through a cycle that happens. Yeah, yep. We are definitely going through the cycle, the Kali Yuga. Sri Yukteswar, who's one of my teachers from the higher realm, Sri Yukteswar, who is Paramahansa Yogananda's teacher. We have the same birthday, 5/10, 5 elements, 10 organs, May 10. He wrote a book called The Holy Science, where he talked about these cycles. I think it was 26,000 year cycle of these Kali Yugas, that we're entering this new Kali Yuga, and he talked about this back in the 50s, about this shift that we're going through now, and this shift into a golden age. And this is way, I mean, way before even radio, and many moons before the internet. And he talked about many things. It's a great book, The Holy Science. You can get it on eBay or Amazon. So let me finish this one. So we already know that the dawning has occurred, that love has won, and yes, every soul will ascend. Don't you love paradoxes? We've already ascended, but we have not yet to do it. Life is laughter. I love you all. Now that we all know no soul will be left out of the rewards of heaven, can we please take this all less serious now and just have more laughter, love, and fun? My kitty cat wants to see you all. Let's see. Hi, Wickers. He is a little angel. Let's see. Animals are little angels. This guy's name is Wicket. My brother named him after Ewok, you know, from the Return of the Jedi. Little Wickers. He's the softest little kitty bunny with his little bunny feet. See those? He has the loudest purr. I don't know if you could hear it. Purr for everyone. That purr is a healing sound. I put my ear up to his head and he purrs louder. And it definitely gives off a healing vibration. Right, little Wickers? So that's the thing. We do live in a paradox, which means up is down, down is up. Yes, he is a photographic little kitty. I've taken many pictures of him over the years. So this paradox, because people will say, is the Matrix real or is the Matrix fake or a simulation? It's like, well, to our perception it's real, but to reality it's not real. So people can't imagine that something could be real and not real. I mean, our form, our physical body is empty and form at the same time. It fluctuates. He wants me to rock him to sleep. Rock-a-bye kitty on a treetop. So that's the thing. We need to stop punishing ourselves. We've made it. If you're here right now, no worries, no fears, because fear is going bye-bye. Barry Long wrote a great book too, called Only Fear Dies, because fear is part of the illusion. False evidence appearing real. So let's see here. So Megan says, don't worry, the older sister you always wish for is here to lead you through the abyss. And I promise I'll be holding your hand the entire time. The light of creation shines down on us all. Darkness is truly afraid of the light, not the other way around. Let us all laugh in the faces of darkness. And let us all just be honest and say darkness is the part of us that we've ignored, shamed, and have left alone to heal. We tried to separate darkness from us only to realize the darkness was the light that got shamed, abandoned, and hid away. To fear darkness is to fear yourself. Darkness to me is what needs to be accepted, healed, and transformed. Darkness equals hides, hidden. Light illuminates, uncovers truth. If we uncover all lies, if we bring all darkness or pain energy into the light, illuminate it, it shall then also be the light. If something is of the truth, open, honest, it is of the light. Do you see the symbolism yet? Don't ever shame or tell someone to ignore or hide or stop speaking their truth. For an unpleasant energy to be transformed, released, it needs to be brought up and acknowledged. Let everyone speak their own perception of truth openly, without shame or degradation. To keep hidden is to keep the healing from happening. Let all pains be expressed openly now. Let all lower energies or perceived darkness be expressed, accepted, and transformed into light. Let the great healing and transformation of humanity occur. Let the lamb and the lion break bread together. It's party time. I'm serious about us having more fun and being less serious about this. I use serious twice on purpose. Laughter would make this ascension so much easier. Please don't take me so serious. I'm serious. Yes. I love you, my family from the stars. This is truly a wonderful life. I'm blessed to have you be a part of it. So yes, I mean, it is a blessing to be here. I know it's been a difficult journey. Beyond words what we've been through, but we are here now in this together, and we shall transcend the suffering, transcend the pain, and rise each other, lift each other up into these higher realms. Yes. In the past, the Cabal and the Flyers and the dark forces, the archonic entities, but not for long, not for much longer. It's done. That story is done. From this moment forward, the past is the past. The powers that were no longer have any power. That their little tentacles are still out in this realm, and their little minion are still trying to hold on to that old story. But no, they have zero power. Yes, yes, you are holding the light, my sky. We are all holding the light. That eternal light. Walter Russell, who is one of the greatest minds that ever existed in this realm, would say God is the still white magnetic light at the center of all things. Some people call that the Christ light, or the light of the Holy Spirit. It's in the center of your body, in the center of your soul, in the center of your mind, and it's emanating out to the ends of the universe. You are the new earth. You are the event. It hasn't fully manifested into our perceptive sensory perceptions. That's why the Heart Sutra, the Bodhisattva mantra, says Avalokitesvara, the Bodhisattva of compassion, clearly saw that the 5 skandhas are empty. The skandhas are your senses. No eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no seeing, no thinking, no hearing, no tasting, no touching, no world of sight, no world of consciousness. Only love. Only love is real. These senses are just picking up the frequencies that our spirit is putting out into this realm and bringing back into our eyes, ears, nose, but our true self is beyond all senses. That's why the Master says, if you see the Buddha on the road, kill him, because it's not real. If you see it, it's not. You can feel the Buddha. They might say, well, don't kill him if you feel him. No, but it's just symbolic, because obviously the Buddhists don't go out killing people, but they symbolically like destroy it with your mind, because Maya, the illusion, is always trying to keep you in the lower dimensions. You know, it's like we tricked ourselves into separating, you know, the mythosophia. Thank you. I appreciate it, my sky. This is beautiful. I'm glad you all were able to join me tonight. It's a special night, because I normally don't get to interact with my team out there in this beautiful, wonderful world. But I finally figured out, using 2 computers, how I can see what people are texting. That's why I have to keep looking over at this other screen to see. Yes, MH Pagan. None of us 3D is like the mundane. It's like, I want to fly. I want to fly because your spirit is free. You know, as children, they tried to break our spirits. They couldn't break my spirit. Nor yours, because we're warriors of the light. See, like, there is, let me think here for a second. A book called The Caged Human Animal. This psychologist found that most humans are like an animal in a cage. Like, if you look at an animal in the wild, it's a lot different than an animal in a cage or a domesticated animal. Like, you see a horse in the wild, they're like kicking and neighing and biting and rolling, you know, and then you see them in a, you know, a cell, whatever those things are, you know, the stable or whatever you call them. And they just kind of sit there and eat and kind of look depressed, or like a gorilla, like at the zoo, you know, they just kind of just sit around and like mope around like most, like a lot of humans. I won't say most because we're waking up, so most humans are feeling this lifting of the spirit because we're hitting a critical mass. So they found, like, and to, you know, what do they say, to be able to get on a horse's back, you have to break the horse, you have to break its spirit. And that's like, to control a human, the whole system was set up because they don't want people to be wild, free spirits like the natives. Like the natives, when, and anywhere in this realm, regard, you know, North America was like the Native Americans, you know, that the spirit that you could not capture, you know, break the spirit, you know. They just kept fighting until the last day, you know. They never gave up, truthfully, but were forced into reservations and that, and of course, you know, with force, sometimes it can be overpowered to guide and move things around. But like a horse, to get on its back, you have to break the spirit. A human, like, to control with fear and that, you generally have, you know, they call it breaking the spirit, but it's like the education system where they try to just create like robots, you know, these these serving humans that are easily controlled. You know, they use discipline and all this other stuff to not that you shouldn't be disciplined, because I have disciplined practices, but I'm also wild. So it's like we need to be creative and disciplined at the same time. Like, it's discipline to learn an art, it's discipline to practice kung fu, you know. To meditate is a discipline, but we discipline the body to calm it down, and then we let the mind go wild, you know, expand out to the ends of the universe. Yeah, Corey, I've been there. Yeah, when you go into that, the pure love of bliss, it's unlike anything that you can even explain. And then it does take time to come back down into this 3D lower vibration. But it's like the grounding into, you know, we're grounded, you know, the suffering and the pain that we've been into grounded us into the earth, so that now we can rise higher. You know, because my teacher says, we say smile, 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 ground, 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 which means you're balancing between heaven and earth. So the three dantians in the Taoist philosophy, you know, the lower dantians, like the belly, you know, in the center of your body. The middle is like the heart center, not the organ heart, but the heart, like the heart chakra in the center of the chest. You see that in the fire there in the center, the fire in the middle. Pyramid means fire in the middle, but the fire also is a vortex. And then the upper dantian, the center of the brain, called the crystal palace. That's the spirit, the body, mind, spirit. So human's in the middle, and the mind is in the middle. The spirit upper, heaven and earth is the lower, and the humans bring heaven and earth together. That's what we're doing. We're in the process of bringing heaven to this realm, so that the 5D and the heavenly realms merge with the physical and the 3D realms, bringing together. The veil is lifting, the veil of Sophia, that ancient veil of tears that was cried from the separation of Source, from the separation from the great mystery. But that separation was an illusion, because you cannot separate from yourself, from Source. So part of our forgiveness, we're in this process of forgiving ourselves. And some people think, what do I need to forgive myself for? Well, you don't need to forgive yourself for anything, because you have not done anything wrong. You're perfect just as you are. But if you feel that there's something that needs healing, letting go, that forgiveness. So if you need something to forgive yourself from believing in the separation, if you ever did, or if you still do. Forgive yourself in tricking yourself into this separation syndrome, the separation experiment, the separation simulation, and awaken the Holy Spirit within yourself, the sacred divine spirit. Awaken the rainbow body, the light body, the indestructible diamond body. Yes. So part of this process of letting go and transforming, transitioning, is forgiving ourselves, forgiving all beings, forgiving the past, forgiving the future. Believe it or not, we can forgive the future for what it will bring. So there's an old Taoist saying, it is all about how well you have lived, how well you have loved, and how well you have let go, because in the end we let go of all things. The event is letting go of that old 3D pattern, that old tired, worn out shoe of an existence. The masses to be fooled by. Yeah, they could try that Blue Beam, Project Blue Beam. Who knows? I don't think most people will believe it at this point, but do what they will, their time is up. I do believe that the angelic realm will intervene with any technology that the remnants of the old ways of the old system try to manipulate the mind of man. Yes. So this has been interesting here. It's been fun interacting with all of you. I'm gonna have to hit the hay here, start a new cycle in the morning, but we are there, we are here, we are everywhere. And just try to live from the heart. Keep the mind in that middle, in the center of your being, feeling the bliss and the joy take over your consciousness, and extend that out to all beings that you come in contact with, or send that out to this whole realm, to the whole matrix. And feel the peace, feel the bliss, feel the joy, ground into the earth. feel the heavenly energies coming down from above, and you can call on the angelic realm and the Holy Spirit. Lift your hands to the heavens and bring them down through the crown and in through the upper dantian, middle dantian, and into the lower grounding of the earth, deep into the center of the earth, the crystalline center. We are shifting from carbon base to crystalline base DNA, but this is a process and it doesn't happen overnight, but we are deep in this shift. Keep love in your life. Yes, we must keep love in our life, in our hearts. We are safe, my friend. We are protected and we are blessed. So thank you all for joining me tonight on this most auspicious evening, auspicious times. And this is the year of the dog in the Chinese New Year. And the dog is an angelic being, dog, God backwards. If you look into the eyes of a dog, you will see, just like any animal or a baby, the eyes of the Great Spirit looking back at you. So have a beautiful and blessed week and life. Thank you for joining me tonight, my friends. Namaste. Namo Amida Butsu. From my heart to yours, we are all connected, brothers and sisters, in this divine light. I love you. Be in peace. Take care now.